Every business knows that true success comes from strong connections built and established over time. Whether it's a connection between you and your business partners or your company and your consumers. At Eastern Communications, we believe in a strong and personal connection. In prioritizing both our high-tech and our high-touch solutions, we bring back the human connection in the ever-expanding industry of information and communications technology. In doing so, we've amassed a wide array of various solutions designed to not only improve our clients' businesses, but to also create seamless experiences for their own customers. This is why customized solutions and strong connections matter so much to us. Keep your company files safe and secure through data centers and cloud services that allow easy access for your employees and are scalable to match the needs of your business. We understand just how important proper collaboration and communication are to the success of a business, which is why we can offer your company the proper tools needed to enhance collaboration efficiency, all while maintaining an agile and flexible network that is scalable to the size of your company. These collaboration tools are key to developing your business's continuity and are easily accessible at any time and from any device, all while maintaining the security your company needs. Speaking of security, no matter what stage of a cyber attack you are in, Eastern Communications will always ensure that your company is prepared with the help of the Cyber Defense Suite. From before the attack happens, during the time it's in progress, and even after it begins to damage systems and steal information, Eastern Communications is equipped with products and services for every phase. Eastern also provides relevant managed services that suit your company's needs. That way, you can better focus on running your business and leave the technical aspect up to us. Of course, every business needs reliable connectivity in order to maintain its day-to-day processes. Our world-class data services ensure the smoothest flow of data and information for your company. Together, we can help you create personalized networks that are well-suited for your company's specific needs, containing all of the benefits with none of the hassle. If it's internet you need, Eastern Communications Internet Services can provide your company with fast connections and high bandwidth availabilities. This way, you have access to flexible speeds and stronger connections to the internet. Lastly, we want to help you establish your own strong connections with your company's partners and customers. Eastern's voice services offers seamless solutions for your customer service needs and easily connects you to your customers. These are only some of the many solutions and services that Eastern Communications has established over the years for our many partners. And while we still have a long way to go, you can be sure that Eastern Communications will continue to be your partner and take you from where you are now to where you want to go. Together, we can all finish strong for our tomorrow. Every business knows that true success comes from strong connections built and established over time. Whether it's a connection between you and your business partners or your company and your consumers. At Eastern Communications, we believe in a strong and personal connection. In prioritizing both our high-tech and our high-touch solutions, we bring back the human connection in the ever-expanding industry of information and communications technology. In doing so, we've amassed a wide array of various solutions designed to not only improve our clients' businesses, but to also create seamless experiences for their own customers. This is why customized solutions and strong connections matter so much to us. Keep your company files safe and secure through data centers and cloud services that allow easy access for your employees and are scalable to match the needs of your business. We understand just how important proper collaboration and communication are to the success of a business, which is why we can offer your company the proper tools needed to enhance collaboration efficiency, all while maintaining an agile and flexible network that is scalable to the size of your company. These collaboration tools are key to developing your business's continuity and are easily accessible at any time and from any device, all while maintaining the security your company needs. Speaking of security, no matter what stage of a cyber attack you are in, Eastern Communications will always ensure that your company is prepared with the help of the Cyber Defense Suite. From before the attack happens, during the time it's in progress, and even after it begins to damage systems and steal information, Eastern Communications is equipped with products and services for every phase. Eastern also provides relevant managed services that suit your company's needs. That way, you can better focus on running your business and leave the technical aspect up to us. Of course, every business needs reliable connectivity in order to maintain its day-to-day processes. Our world-class data services ensure the smoothest flow of data and information for your company. Together, we can help you create personalized networks that are well-suited for your company's specific needs, containing all of the benefits with none of the hassle. If it's internet you need, Eastern Communications Internet Services can provide your company with fast connections and high bandwidth availabilities. This way, you have access to flexible speeds and stronger connections to the internet. Lastly, we want to help you establish your own strong connections with your company's partners and customers. Eastern's voice services offers seamless solutions for your customer service needs and easily connects you to your customers. These are only some of the many solutions and services that Eastern Communications has established over the years for our many partners. And while we still have a long way to go, you can be sure that Eastern Communications will continue to be your partner and take you from where you are now to where you want to go. Together, we can all finish strong for our tomorrow. Every business knows that true success comes from strong connections built and established over time. Whether it's a connection between you and your business partners or your company and your consumers. At Eastern Communications, we believe in a strong and personal connection. In prioritizing both our high-tech and our high-touch solutions, we bring back the human connection in the ever-expanding industry of information and communications technology. In doing so, we've amassed a wide array of various solutions designed to not only improve our clients' businesses, but to also create seamless experiences for their own customers. This is why customized solutions and strong connections matter so much to us. Keep your company files safe and secure through data centers and cloud services that allow easy access for your employees and are scalable to match the needs of your business. We understand just how important proper collaboration and communication are to the success of a business, which is why we can offer your company the proper tools needed to enhance collaboration efficiency, all while maintaining an agile and flexible network that is scalable to the size of your company. These collaboration tools are key to developing your business's continuity and are easily accessible at any time and from any device, all while maintaining the security your company needs. Speaking of security, no matter what stage of a cyber attack you are in, Eastern Communications will always ensure that your company is prepared with the help of the Cyber Defense Suite. From before the attack happens, during the time it's in progress, and even after it begins to damage systems and steal information, Eastern Communications is equipped with products and services for every phase. Eastern also provides relevant managed services that suit your company's needs. That way, you can better focus on running your business and leave the technical aspect up to us. Of course, every business needs reliable connectivity in order to maintain its day-to-day processes. Our world-class data services ensure the smoothest flow of data and information for your company. Together, we can help you create personalized networks that are well-suited for your company's specific needs, containing all of the benefits with none of the hassle. If it's internet you need, Eastern Communications Internet Services can provide your company with fast connections and high bandwidth availabilities. This way, you have access to flexible speeds and stronger connections to the internet. Lastly, we want to help you establish your own strong connections with your company's partners and customers. Eastern's voice services offers seamless solutions for your customer service needs and easily connects you to your customers. These are only some of the many solutions and services that Eastern Communications has established over the years for our many partners. And while we still have a long way to go, you can be sure that Eastern Communications will continue to be your partner and take you from where you are now to where you want to go. Together, we can all finish strong for our tomorrow.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. As our businesses bounce back from the year that was, Eastern Communications is here to ask you, are you ready to take a fearless leap forward?
The past year was difficult for our country, its people, and the businesses we've built to keep ourselves afloat. Even now, local enterprises all over the country are still struggling to bounce back and recover what they've lost while still dealing with the ever-present challenges caused by the pandemic's persistence. Challenges like acquiring new clients, meeting the needs of their current customer base, holding physical meetings, communicating with colleagues in different parts of the country, or even manufacturing, sourcing, and delivering their products and services. The truth is, many businesses are unsure of how to keep up with the digital capabilities of other companies who are able to thrive because they can adapt their brick-and-mortar businesses to online platforms or create e-commerce spaces where they can still offer their services at the tap of a finger or a click of the button. In order to bounce back, it's crucial to transition to the digital space. We need a strong connection to a digital solutions provider that can help us take that fearless step forward. How can we adjust to the now normal? Where can we find the digital lifeline needed to give every business an equal footing in this new era of online spaces and technological solutions? As we continue to fearlessly transform and innovate, we must never lose sight of what makes our connections strong. Let Eastern Communications be that very digital lifeline for your company. In the past and up until today, Eastern's strong connections have been helping bridge the gap and empower businesses to upgrade their services in order to better serve their clients' evolving needs. Through our wide variety of high-tech products and solutions, your company can also adapt to the now normal. Which is why, during this difficult time, we want to remind you that you aren't alone. Together with Eastern Communications, let us open new doors and create wider avenues in the digital space. Together, we can all innovate and improve in order to fearlessly move forward and stride strong into a new digital frontier.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in. My name is Ivana Passes, and I'll be your host for today. And welcome to Leap Forward. Business empowerment for the now normal is Eastern Communications' way of reaching out to all its partner clients to encourage and discuss with them the need for innovation and resilience. Eastern Communications seeks to empower local businesses across the country and be up to date with the latest best practices and technological trends. So today's topic is very, very interesting. We will be talking about grit and greatness, the right attitude and standards for business longevity. So we have two brilliant speakers on standby ready to discuss this with all of you. And just make sure to take down some notes and send in your questions in our comment section below for the live Q&A happening later on. So stay tuned as well for the digital raffle segments happening all throughout the program. Watch out for that. And to officially start us off, here to give a special message for all of you, please welcome Eastern's Head of Sales Division, Mr. Michael Castañeda.
Thank you very much, Ivana. Good afternoon. I would like to thank everyone for attending this afternoon's session. We are continuously faced with these ECQs, MECQs, GCQs, and many other CQs. Sometimes you do not even know the difference. But the challenges these ECQs bring to our business continue to persist in this now different world. As many of our businesses continue to encounter difficulties and adjust to the now normal, we must now more than ever work together to get back on track and grow in this new environment. That's why I eagerly look forward to this afternoon's discussion with Ms. Rosan and learn more about the topic grit and greatness, the right attitude and standards for business longevity. Sounds very exciting, right? We need business endurance. And we all know that we should be prepared to face more complex situations ahead. But with the right people, and especially the right attitude, we can get through these challenges. Eastern is striding forward to empower businesses and their teams with the aid of digital solutions to ensure that we provide the right strategies at the right time. The Leap Forward series is our way to support emerging businesses all over the country as we discuss relevant and updated topics to impart knowledge and ideas that you can use for your business operations. We are one with you as your strong connection in facing these times of change and adjustment. Again, thank you for giving us your time, and please do look forward to this afternoon's discussion. Stay safe, mga ka-Eastern. God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Michael Castañeda. And now, let us leap forward to our first speaker of the day. Our guest speaker is a passionate leader and change agent who delivers and leads teams to excel regardless of function. A salesperson at heart and by training, she has gained relevant business experience in the various roles that she has handled over the years. She has served several multinational companies in the IT industry, such as Digital Equipment Corporation Philippines, Apple Philippines, Dell Philippines, IBM PC Division as Country General Manager. She has also shared her expertise in project management, learning and business processes, and talent management to various companies in the Philippines and Asia. Please welcome Ms. Rosan Holmes.
Thank you, Ivana, for your very generous introduction. Magandang hapon, mga ka-Eastern. A warm and bright afternoon to all. I'm Rosan Holmes, and I have a very interesting topic to explore with you today, business longevity. Paano nga ba natin mapapahaba ang buhay ng ating mga negosyo? Napakaganda pong katanungan. In the last 18 months of this pandemic, we have seen many businesses tumble. Marami pong nagsara, especially those in the food and services business. Yet, at the same time, many entrepreneurial people were able to spot opportunities and started businesses that are thriving even up to today. Kaya nga po, ang sisikapin nating sagutin ngayong hapon ay, how do we make our business last? Here is a quick agenda this afternoon. We'll take a look at some numbers on business survival and longevity. And then I will share with you mindsets for business longevity. Now, this is based on research by business experts, on the experience of some organizations, and even my personal experience as a business consultant. As a business owner or business leader, why should the topic of longevity concern you? Of course, the foremost answer that comes to mind is that for many of us, when we go into business, we have, of course, the view of doing this for the long term. In fact, those of us in family businesses look at the business as a means not only to sustain ourselves, but also our children, our children's children, and many more generations after that. Pangmatagalan po ang hangarin pag tayo ay nagnegosyo. Sa kinasamaang palad o dala ng iba't ibang pangyayari, hindi po lahat nagtatagumpay. In fact, statistics show that 32% of companies fail to make it beyond 5 years. Nakakalungkot po, pero totoo. And there is another statistic, perhaps less alarming, but nevertheless something to also keep in mind. The average company lasts less than 30 years. So that's just about one generation. Of course, there are exceptional companies that have grown and lasted not just for one, but for multiple generations. Now, some examples here in the Philippines are Ayala Corporation, established in 1834. Distillería Limtuaco, established in 1852. Our very own Eastern Telecoms in 1878, and San Miguel Corporation, established in 1890. Today, SMC is easily the number one company in the Philippines, generating about 5% of the country's gross domestic product through its highly diversified operations in beverages, food manufacturing and food packaging, fuel and oil, power, and now even infrastructure. Eastern Communications, on the other hand, is the Philippines' first telecommunications company. Alam niyo po ba yon? So Eastern today has evolved into a world-class telecommunications and ICT solutions company, providing an extensive portfolio of services to businesses and companies. So the question now is how to be exceptional like these companies and not be like the average company that disappears after 30 years. The secret lies in leadership and in possessing the right leadership mindset to lead our organizations. Yes, ma'ams and sirs, it is about leadership. Let's talk about mindsets then. You have heard of the glass half empty and the glass half full mentality. Huh? Are you a pessimist or an optimist? And the reason I'm bringing this up is that optimism is often mentioned as a requisite mindset for business success, along probably with positivity, aggressiveness, grit. All these wonderful traits are certainly necessary not only to survive, but to thrive in the tough world of business. However, it takes more than positivity and grit to make it. It takes what I would call a disciplined and balanced leadership mindset that is able to objectively consider opposing management principles, differing ideas, conflicting priorities, and even clashing values so that one can make well considered business decisions. The key then is balance, to be able to thoughtfully consider these conflicting elements and still make sound business judgment. What are we balancing then? Let me propose 5 areas to you. The first area is exploration and exploitation. The second, fiscal balance and fiscal prudence. The third, adaptability and consistency. The fourth, culture and diversity. And the fifth, the ideas of shaping and controlling. Let us now go through each one. First, allow me to explain what we mean by exploration and exploitation. Exploitation is not probably what you are thinking now. Okay, so let's start with exploration. Exploration means continuing on the current path of your business. Let's say I went into cacao farming and into selling cacao beans. Exploitation rather means that I will just continue doing this for years and years until my cacao trees can no longer produce good fruit. Exploration, on the other hand, means thinking about new ways to deliver value to the market using the knowledge, expertise, and assets I gained from farming and from selling cacao beans. So I would venture to say that all companies who have thrived for centuries have gone into the path of exploration, and they did not stay stuck with their original business idea. Let me tell you about a popular case study in management, and this is Kodak versus Fujifilm. Kodak went bankrupt in 2012, while Fujifilm has lived on to become a $23 billion company with an annual growth rate of 10% for the past 15 years. What made Fujifilm survive? They did not fall into what is called the success syndrome. And this is when we start believing we are so good that we reject any suggestions to change. Their success did not stop Fujifilm from innovating. At the peak of the film industry in 2000, their CEO, Shigetaka Komori, posed a challenge to his team. Team, what assets and capabilities do we have that would allow us to move into new areas? Over the next 10 years, as film sales declined, Komori and his team leveraged Fujifilm's assets and capabilities and moved into new areas like regenerative medicine, pharmaceuticals, liquid crystal displays, and would you believe, cosmetics. Kodak, on the other hand, stuck with films and died along the way. Charles O'Reilly, in his book, Lead and Disrupt, says to be like Komori, who led Fujifilm's regeneration, one has to be an ambidextrous leader. So, an ambidextrous person, as most of you would know, is someone who is able to use both hands, left and right. An ambidextrous leader is someone who is able to work with the current structure of the business and at the same time have the courage to move into new territory. As an ambidextrous leader, you recognize that it requires a different structure, a different mindset, and different processes to start a new venture versus continuing an already mature business. You need to be able to navigate this. Now, there's another thing about exploration. Not all new ventures that you go into will be successful. An ambidextrous leader will be able to quickly see which ventures are likely to fail and then get out of it immediately. And at the same time, they will have the foresight to see which ventures are promising and commit to continue putting effort and money into it. So this is exploration and exploitation, or leading with both hands. Let's talk about fiscal balance and fiscal prudence. No business will thrive without sound fiscal management. There was an old-fashioned way of fiscal management where the business owner would sit in the cash register all day, nagbabantay po ng kaha at hindi na po nagbabakasyon dahil dito. Well, that still has a lot of merit. No? Perhaps not to that extent, but this shows good fiscal management. Pero habang marami po ang maingat sa pera, it is also a known trend in business, especially family businesses, that when some owners find success and the new money that comes into that success, they also get sucked into a new and flashy lifestyle where, believe it or not, alcoholism and gambling have even come into play. And the businesses provided the funds for these vices. When this happens, alam niyo na po siguro kung ano ang kasunod: bankruptcy. So fiscal prudence should be a priority for businesses to ensure longevity. Nung nagtayo po ako ng sarili ko pong negosyo, ang guideline ko po there should be enough money in the bank at any given point in time to fund our business expenses for 24 months, even if we did not get any income for that period. I believe that many of the businesses that had survived the pandemic also had prudent fiscal practices. So, what about fiscal balance then? This means that while we are being prudent, we should not be so prudent so as not to set aside funds for necessary investments that will make our business more efficient, effective, and most especially customer centric. We should be prepared to spend for these things. Unang-una po, employee engagement sa pag-aalaga po ng ating mga tao. Of course, customer satisfaction and customer advocacy. Pag-aalaga po ng ating mga customer dahil kung wala po sila, wala po ang ating negosyo. Next, business innovation. And this is what I just discussed in exploration. And these days, technology. When these investments are made right, the returns could be immeasurable. Next, we go to adaptability and consistency. In business, there are things that we need to be consistent about. Some examples. Adherence to corporate values is one of them. Taking care of our customers is another. Taking care of our employees is another. Halimbawa po, when we say integrity is one of the core values of our business, we cannot act with integrity one time and not act with integrity another time. Okay, so consistency po, yun po ang pinag-uusapan. Another instance where consistency is good is in the area of customer experience. Kunyari po, nagbebenta po tayo ng pagkain. Customers expect the same taste, the same quality, the same packaging, etc. Consistency. However, consistency is not about rigidity. I was a business consultant for a company that has been around for 30 years. I was hired by the CEO who was very open-minded. And he knew that they have to evolve and that the way that they did business today may not serve them for the next 30 years. Unfortunately po, not everyone in his company had his mindset. And new ideas would often be met with, oh, we have always done things this way. Huh? But we have still been growing. A true statement. But we challenged that with, you could still do better if you did things differently. If you were growing by 10% year on year, you could grow by 20% year on year. We have always done things this way is part of the success syndrome and is the enemy of innovation and longevity. Now let's take a look at diversity and culture. A popular leadership debate is which should take precedence, diversity or culture? It is a complex dilemma, and many struggling to find the right formula. But here is one thing that is certain. Diversity does not work if you have a group of executives who do not listen to each other and who do not respect one another. And especially if you have a group of executives who do not welcome new talent into the organization. In another organization that I consulted for, the old and well-entrenched executives who have been with the company for 20 plus years always gave new executives a hard time. So pag may bagong pasok po, no, pinapahirapan po nila. And these new executives who could have brought in fresh ideas to revitalize the company, you know what happens? Umaalis po sila. They just leave. The result is a lack of diversity, a culture of entitlement, and a company with old and tired ideas. While it is right for companies to preserve aspects of the culture that may have served them well, it is also fitting to examine if there are aspects of the culture that may be limiting diversity. Diversity feeds culture, and leaders who understand diversity understand that it is relevant to the changing, open, and increasingly connected world we live in. In the end, it does not matter which comes first, culture or diversity. As we know, both are crucial ingredients to business success. Finally, shaping and controlling. This is the last set of mindsets. And they have to do a lot with how we view our leadership role and the people that we lead. Do you still see your people as staff? Do you still see them as workers? And do you view yourself as an executive who is on another level? As we say in Tagalog, ibang level. Okay? So, yun ba ang tingin mo sa sarili mo? Ibang level ka nga ba? How you view this relationship will determine the balance between controlling or shaping your people. In my personal view, the old style of management of command and control may still apply in some very limited instances. For example, where the deliverables are repetitive, like for people working on the factory floor, or perhaps where you are managing highly inexperienced individuals who need to be guided, or where you may be managing an emergency situation. Pwede pa po ang command and control practices doon. However, in most instances where you work with professionals, control must be replaced by a different mindset, and that is shaping. Shaping. Helping individuals achieve their highest potential. We could not do this by telling them what to do or by watching every step they make. We do this by providing them with learning opportunities and by helping them develop insight through coaching. Nalungkot po ako ng husto nang minsan may nagtanong po sa akin na business owner. Rosan, may app ka bang alam na masusukat kung ilang oras nakalagin ang tao ko? Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. As leaders, you need to focus on what's really important. Hindi po yung pagbibilang ng oras ng tao nyo. But look at the kind of results that they deliver, the ideas that they bring to the table, the loyalty that you generate by shaping rather than controlling. I hope that in the last 20 minutes, I have given you substantial food for thought on how to make your business last for a long time. I leave you with this quote from one of the more successful entrepreneurs of our time, Bill Gates. And he says, "Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose." And so I say, don't be seduced by success. Magandang hapon po sa kanilang lahat.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rosan Holmes. Thank you so much for sharing with us the right mindsets we need to have for business longevity. And I also have to agree with what she said earlier, that the secret for a successful business is leadership indeed. And I'm sure a lot of us learned a lot from her. So do send in your questions for our live Q&A later on, and she will answer them as well. But guys, before we move on to our second speaker of the day, we promise you a digital raffle. And of course, Eastern Communications is here to deliver. So for our first raffle draw, 3 of our lucky viewers will be getting a 1,000 pesos gift away vouchers. Wow. So when you see your name flash on the screen, take a screenshot and email it to marketing@etpi.com.ph with the subject Leap Forward 2021 digital raffle. And just make sure to include your details as seen on the screens right now, your full name, company, mobile number, and your email address. So is everyone ready to win? Let's go. So here are our first set of winners today. Congratulations to Adrian Jumel Guache from SP Madrid Associates, Rafael Celestino from MedSec International Limited, and Carol Jane Rayos from T2G Network Innovations, Inc. Congratulations, you all won 1,000 pesos, a gift away voucher. All right. Congratulations, everybody. Stay tuned for another raffle draw happening later on. Ha? Hindi pa yan tapos. So now it's time for our second speaker of the day. Our second speaker of the day is the head for strategic marketing of Eastern Communications. He has over 16 years of experience working for both the telecommunications and finance sectors, ensuring customers find the most appropriate solutions for their pain points. He continues to share his knowledge moving forward by helping out businesses and consumers outside Metro Manila navigate through the now normal via Eastern's high-tech and high-touch ICT solutions. Everybody, please welcome to your screens, Mr. Antonio Ramos Casas.
Thank you, Ivana. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for sharing your time with us this afternoon. I'm Tony Casas. I'm the Strategic Marketing Head of Eastern Communications, and I'll be sharing this afternoon Cloud Computing Shift, Meeting the Needs of the Now Normal. As we know, the pandemic has changed the way we all do business. In fact, at the very least, we already know how things have changed during the lockdown and more. Just a quick flashback. In March 2020, around 70% of MSMEs temporarily closed at the start of ECQ. And together with limited mobility, 72% of businesses were forced to make their employees work from home. Fast forward to 2021, businesses are gaining traction and getting its groove as business started to operate once more. It feels like the new normal is finally here and businesses can resume. More and more businesses are in full operation in June 2021 compared to the same month of last year. Unfortunately, a few weeks back, we have to undergo ECQ, and many companies, especially restaurants, had to either close or focus back on delivery or food takeout once more. We already had dining options with many precautions set in place. It felt as though we could already start to go back little by little, but as they say, one step forward and 2 steps back. So let's take another quick view of how things have changed during the pandemic. As we know, several trends came to light during the lockdowns. Demand for products and services did not change, but methods of transacting, selling, and fulfillment became challenging. The customer was slowly changing priorities. Not only them, but even businesses started to shift. We all started changing the way we do things. So here are some prime examples. First is e-commerce. The ensuing lockdown and quarantine restrictions allowed transactions to shift online from brick-and-mortar methods. A lot of businesses pivoted to an e-commerce strategy. And this resulted for e-commerce adoption in the Philippines to grow from 76% in 2020 to 80% in 2021. This is the above global average of 76%. Moreover, while Filipinos only consume 2% of their digital searches prior to the pandemic, online conversions have increased drastically. So how many of us have purchased from various things online? So show of hands, guys. I'm guilty of focusing not only gadgets and even clothes during the lockdown, but I also started purchasing groceries just to keep my family safe. Another trend is remote work. After more than 1 year into quarantine, we see businesses continuing their remote work arrangements. Some of them have also implemented a hybrid setup where they allow employees to report at the office at predetermined schedule. Of course, this may have been disrupted by the ECQ last few weeks ago, but hopefully not enough to disrupt operations. Personally, I used to travel 4 hours minimum a day from Rizal to Makati. I would leave the house before 6 a.m. just to get to the office at 7 a.m. And the travel back is worse. So I must admit, I do see some good things about the work from home. Aside from spending less time traveling, I get to spend more time with the family. Work from here or vacations is another trend rising. The pandemic has forced a shift in how and where people complete their work schedule. It is built on that wanderer mindset of today's work from anywhere professionals, who are mostly millennials. Work from here allows employees the freedom to balance work with where they want to do work. It is a shift in that idea of the ideal workspace, thus create happier, more productive experiences, which would benefit not only employees, but also the employer. To put it simply, imagine being able to work in the beautiful beaches of Boracay and still be able to pass your reports on time. Sounds too good to be true, but that is what's happening nowadays. Well, say for border restrictions due to ECQ and such. Lastly, we have distance learning. Distance learning, though it existed prior to pandemic, its use and adoption increased during this time. Kids attended minimum of 1 hour of online classes a day, and employees attended various webinars and online events, just like this one, to further develop knowledge and gain more learnings along with certifications. Personally, I have quite a few certifications online while the pandemic has been happening. The trends I've mentioned were made possible by digital tools that have been available to us ever since 3 to 5 years ago. But with COVID-19, adoption of these digital tools was accelerated as they become more necessary. Usage of productivity and collaboration tools help teams communicate, manage projects and tasks, and share and store files efficiently. Specific applications include online meetings, team messaging, shared file storage, and collaborative content creation. And as more and more business transactions are done online, the need for businesses and consumers to be protected from online trends becomes a priority. Based on a report by McAfee, an average of 8.4 threats per person occur on a daily basis. Remember that the biggest asset in this digital age is your company information, which is a combination of your strengths, your magic formulas, or even their secret recipe of your company that give you a competitive advantage. And second are your customer informations, which is a source of your insights for your programs and future promos. So hence, having cybersecurity protection in place is key to having a worry-free operation during this pandemic. Let us not also forget the proliferation of apps such as social media, e-commerce platforms, online banking, and delivery apps, which were utilized heavily to help businesses recover. So the proliferation and adoption of these applications was the key to enabling people to work from home and keep business critical services going. This, however, wouldn't be possible if not for cloud computing. Let us now see how cloud computing have been performing over the years. A Deloitte study shows that the growth of cloud adoption increased in 2019 by 31%, which is one of the highest sectors in the world. And due to COVID-19, the study goes further to estimate that the succeeding years will continue to overtake the 2019 numbers. That means we are looking at a yearly growth of cloud adoption by more than 31% on a yearly basis. This is further supported by another study by Gartner that stipulates and expects that the industry will continue to grow from $396 billion in 2021 to reach $482 billion in 2022. And of course, it expects that the growth will continue to grow moving forward. That growth is definitely supported by the demands we mentioned earlier, but also by many other technologies that are quickly becoming part of our lives. Let's take a very quick, easy example, applications or apps. Back in the day, proprietary business software such as your operating system, CRM, ERP, word processing, and spreadsheet applications would need to be purchased via expensive CDs and installed in native on-premise hardware that usually takes a lot of processing and storage resources. Nowadays, most, if not all, our applications are stored in the cloud and are made available anytime, anywhere, and perhaps even on any device. So why is this important? Remember that the key to digital transformation is adoption. And for adoption to be possible, the barriers to adoption need to be eliminated. Ease of use and accessibility are important. Also, the necessity for the solution needs to be both obvious and urgent. If the COVID-19 pandemic has had any positive effect on us, it's the realization that most of the things we do on a daily basis can be done differently. Cloud computing, which is generally defined as the on-demand availability of computer system resources, especially data storage and computing power, allowed for applications to be easily accessible. These applications, in turn, allowed us to live and work during the pandemic. So now let's dive a little deeper into why cloud is often favored in these situations. In fact, I'll give you three great reasons why cloud computing is one of the fastest growing sectors in the world. First is scalability. The beauty of cloud is in its scalability. Today, you're in 100 gigabyte, and tomorrow you realize you need 500 gigabyte more. If this was a physical object, you need to find equipment, install it, power it, and house it. But with cloud, you simply let your provider know, and it's done. Quick, easy, and fairly much painless. A good use case for this is Lazada. How many of us have looked forward to their monthly sale? I have to admit that I'm one of those folks who has a long list of items parked in my cart. And whenever the item is on sale, I always end up pressing the magic button of buy. Just imagine the millions of consumers just like me who surf and buy during this time. And this is how cloud computing can support businesses and scale up to accommodate the surge in business requirement. Second, cost effectiveness. With cloud, as mentioned earlier, you won't have to invest in the machinery or infrastructure to house the information. Not only will you have to worry about powering it, outages, and let's remove the maintenance costs that may come with the physical infrastructure. These could lead to a serious amount of savings for your company, both CapEx and OpEx. The sooner you switch to cloud, the sooner you may realize the savings. A good example of this would be Union Bank, which is one of the leading banks who embrace digital transformation and an early adopter of cloud, which migrated 400 mission-critical applications to cloud. By scaling its operational workloads on demand using cloud infrastructure, Union Bank expects to reduce infrastructure maintenance and operation costs by $1 million over the next 5 years. That's almost 50 million pesos in 5 years. So isn't that sound tempting? Third is accessibility. We can't deny how easy it is to access the cloud. We've seen it on apps, and we've seen it on various businesses and more. With how things are much more agile and how important it is to be able to access your work whenever you are. Just to showcase how amazing the accessibility of cloud is, based on a report given by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas Governor Benjamin Jokno, more and more banks are moving into cloud-based technology. 30 financial institutions have transitioned towards hosting their core banking solutions in the cloud. It really does show that cloud is becoming a bigger part of many industries moving forward. After all that, maybe you want to hear more about how cloud can support your company and how it will continue to be in demand in the now normal. Eastern Communications, as an ICT solutions provider, is proud of our very own Eastern Cloud. which is something we are really happy to offer to our partners and partners to be. Not to toot our own horn, but Eastern Cloud has won numerous recognitions both here and abroad, with the most prestigious 2020 APAX TV Award for Innovation in New Product. Since the pandemic, Eastern Cloud users have increased by 40 times, surpassing our initial targets. Most of them use it as an IaaS for their FTTP servers, for their database, for website, or even their CRM and ERP software. So if any of the benefits I mentioned earlier really speaks to you and your company, I urge you to reach out to your account manager to find out more. On top of that, we're also happy to offer soon-to-be launched SaaS solutions. This to help smaller businesses with some critical business operations that may be addressed by the cloud. These include contact center as a service, allowing companies to have a contact center without having a physical structure. Document management system is a system used to receive, track, manage, and store documents digitally, thus reducing paper usage. This will also be in support in the drive to reduce our carbon footprint in 2030. We also have a timekeeping and payroll system, which is a cost-effective alternative to proprietary HR clouds. Expect that soon we will be having more applications and services available in the Eastern Cloud. So now that all is said and done, let's close this with a quote from a famous Greek philosopher, Heraclitus. There is nothing permanent except change. And we all know this, and we have seen this from happening every single day. Our customers' behavior and needs are changing, and so we must change as well. If not now, then when? And just before I let everyone go, here is a nice surprise for you all. Check out our Eastern Cloud 30-day free trial exclusive for you. You may scan this QR code or you may take a screen cap so that you may explore it later after this afternoon's Leap Forward session. Once again, this is Tony Casas, and thank you very much for listening to me this afternoon. Back to you, Ivana.
Thank you so much, Sir Tony Casas, for that very in-depth explanation on how important it is to use cloud services for our businesses, and of course, how Eastern Communications can help our businesses grow. And of course, thank you as well for that free trial. You guys should take note of that as well. And if you have any other questions for Sir Tony Casas, please do send them in for our live Q&A happening later on. But for now, it's time for our second raffle draw of the day. So for this round, our second batch of lucky winners will receive a 1,000 pesos gift away voucher. So we have 3 winners for this round. So remember, when you see your name splashed on the screen, take a screenshot and email it to marketing@etpi.com.ph with the subject Leap Forward 2021 Digital Raffle. And of course, don't forget to include your full name, company, mobile number, and email address as seen on your screens. All right, so let's announce our second batch of lucky winners right now. Congratulations to Nicanor Villasenor from Don Bosco Technical College, to Jesraf Palmares of Ilobit Solutions, Inc., and Lizelle Israel from Ryder Levitt Bucknell, Philippines, Inc. Congratulations to you guys. You all walk away with 1,000 pesos giveaway vouchers. And also, congrats sa past winners natin a while ago. Congratulations to all of you. But guys, if your name weren't called, it's okay because we still have our major raffle draw happening in a bit. But for now, our most awaited part of our webinar is now happening. Our live Q&A will be starting right now. So let me welcome back on your screens. We have again Miss Rosan Holmes and Sir Tony Casas. Welcome back to the both of you. How are you all doing? Hi, Sir Tony. Hi, Miss Rosan.
Hi, Ivana.
Thank you, Ivan. Hi, Ivana, and good afternoon again. And good afternoon to
guys.
everyone.
All right. Thank you again so much for being here and sharing with us your knowledge. Grabe, puno-puno na naman tayo ng information and knowledge all about our businesses and how we can help give importance sa success ng ating mga businesses. So we have, of course, our questions for the both of you. Thank you again so much for the rest of you, for our viewers, for sending your questions for Ms. Rosan and Sir Tony. So here we go. So we have our first question. So this is for the both of you. I'll let you go first, Ms. Rosan. So our question is, as experts in your field, given the changes of ECQ, MECQ, GCQ, and more, how does a company brace itself to make it more resilient? So for longevity, Ms. Rosan, what steps can we take to ensure that our company's survival is going to be good?
Okay, thank you, Ivana, for that very interesting question. We've always been looking for these quick fix solutions that can help our businesses survive for a long time. No? But the point is, it doesn't really exist. So earlier on, I shared strategies that you can take on to help ensure longevity. Strategies like diversification, fiscal balance, shaping the right culture, etc. And there are many more. The point is, we do not follow these blindly. Success results really from taking a strategy that is appropriate for your business, your industry, your environment, and even your company's structure. Now, what has also come to light recently is that there is also this intangible thread that binds an organization and makes it survive for generations. No? And this intangible thread is the company's guiding philosophy. An example would be our philosophy is that our customer always comes first. Or it could be that our philosophy is we're not just a company that makes money, but we are a community that promotes growth for everyone. So an individual requires character to survive tough times. A company requires a philosophy. And this philosophy combined with strategy is what separates the survivors from the non-survivors.
Thank you, Ms. Rosan. For Sir Tony naman, for cloud, how do you see this working out in the long run?
Okay. Thank you, Ivana, for that. So as we navigate through the now normal, the important thing is for business to have the nimbleness and flexibility to pivot around the challenges brought about by this pandemic. In a sense, we have to accept and realize that the only way for us to survive is to dance with our challenges. And I would say cloud computing is a perfect dance partner during these times. It is no coincidence that the highest growth for cloud adoption was experienced during the pandemic. With the benefits of being cost-efficient, scalable, and easily accessible, cloud platforms allows our businesses achieve our goals with less effort or resources. So back to you, Ivana, for that.
Thank you, Sir Tony. I definitely agree with what you said. Next question is for Ms. Rosan. Ms. Rosan, so bigger companies are usually more resilient to pandemics and other challenges. So how do you think can my MSME business thrive forward? And how do I keep moving forward in the now normal?
Another great question, Ivana. No, and there are a few things that I can suggest to them. Okay, first, communicate with your employees. Do not keep them in the dark and tell him how you plan to go through this period. I'll give you an example. The owner of Piandre, this very famous salon here in Manila, Miss Linda Francisco. You know what's one of the first things that she did during the pandemic? Every morning at 8 a.m., she would go online with her employees, no? Fully made up, and syempre, ayos yung hair niya. And she would tell the employees, how are you today? And this is what you can expect, and this is what we are going to do today. So communicate with them and tell them how you plan to go through the period. Second, of course, is to keep in touch with your clients. And I would say amplify your client engagement activities. And these don't have to cost a lot, especially with all these communications tools that also Tony was talking about earlier. And be creative about this. You know, there's this company in Indiana, in America, called Moriarty's Gem Art. And you know what they did in the pandemic? They began streaming live gem shows where they not only featured their products, but also the owners' travels to exotic places. And so, you know, this was the way that they engaged with their customers. And I would say, lastly, focus on customer experience because it's really very important these days. And look at what makes you different. What is your strongest differentiators and leverage on that? Is it the quality of your products? Is it the quality of your services? And all these are going to help you get through these tough times, Ivana.
Thank you, Miss Rosan. That's really wonderful. Now let's go back to Sir Tony. Sir Tony, cloud is surely a great technology. You explained thoroughly all the benefits businesses will have if they surely have cloud as part of their businesses. So, do you think cloud is secure for every business owner?
Okay. Relatively, Avana, cloud technology is secure. Okay. Offhand, I can say that regardless of your preferred provider, there are many layers of security that are applied in the platform. In addition, based on a Gartner report, around 95% of cloud security failures are attributed more to user error, such as poor password management and improper access controls. That being said, remember not to forget the basics. Okay? Always keep your security protocols and policies in place and updated. And to top things off, I guess, make sure to educate your users because if they don't know what to do or what policies are there, you will likely have, problems in the future, which is I hope not. So that's it, Ivan.
Thank you so much, Sir Tony. Let's get back to Ms. Rosan. So, Ms. Rosan, you mentioned earlier that 32% of local business don't usually survive for 5 years. Wow. So, what
Yeah.
would you say are the usual causes for this for Filipino business owners naman?
Hey, Ivana, I'm going to speak from a practical point of view and not from the point of view of management studies. No? So let me give my insights on why this happens. Number one, I think people may wrongfully translate having a skill to business success. For example, just because I'm a good cook does not mean that I can successfully run a restaurant business. Yes, while my cooking skills can be put to good use there, the business part requires a different set of skills and it needs to be learned as well. Second, when we run a business, it's really very important to separate the personal from the business side, especially when it comes to finances. When my husband and I set up our business, we did not think of a business as a source of unlimited funds for us. So we set salaries for ourselves and we did not draw anything else from the business besides this. So personal expenses came from our personal funds. So that's one. And third, failing to plan. I've seen a lot of small businesses being run on the fly. So you need to put together even just a very basic business plan, which should include a financial plan as well. Very important, no? Planning. Fourth, I'd say a lack of focus. People mistakenly sometimes run business as a hobby. No? So a business is not a hobby. A lot of people think that when you have your own business, oh, Rosan, you have your own business, so you have a lot more time to take holidays, more time for the family. Nothing could be further from the truth. You have to be prepared to give your business time, energy, and of course, money. Then I'd say number five, one of the key reasons also is to fail to build redundancies in your business. I'll give you a concrete example. This business that was producing banana chips. They had trouble with their business. Why? Because they relied on one single source of bananas, one single supplier of bananas. So you have to put those redundancies in your business. You cannot rely on a single supplier. And along the same lines, you also cannot rely on a single distribution network.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Rosan. And now let's go back again to Sir Tony. Someone asked, would you suggest cloud and a physical database for most companies? Why or why not?
Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks for that question. Sige, himayin mo natin. I believe the center of the question is referring to whether a company should pursue a cloud-based solution for the computing needs or an on-premise solution, such a physical server or a database for that. So my stand on this matter is that there is really no one-size-fits-all solution for a company's needs. But if I may suggest, you can always start with with scoping out your business needs first, just as you would do for any kind of problem that you want to fix for your business. So from there, you can now already craft a simple list of pros and cons based on the solutions available to you. But most importantly, don't be scared to talk to an IT expert if needed. And I would always advise for you to consult. So so another thing is that cloud is a great option for many companies, no? As it provides cost savings benefits along with functional benefits such as automated data backups and the ability to scale easily. Cloud storage, for example, is a great option for your company because it can augment your on-premise resources without the need for huge investment on additional IT appliances. The option to shift an OpEx-based model gives you that ability to adjust to company needs, whether to scale up or scale down easily, or to purchase as needed. So yeah, so that's it, Ivana. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Tony. And having said that, now, Sir Tony, we have another question. So it says, is cloud an ideal technology for smaller companies like MSMEs? And do you have examples of existing MSMEs using cloud to get through this pandemic? It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, actually, most definitely. In fact, I would recommend cloud for companies who have a lean budget for IT spending. Cloud allows companies to prioritize cash for business critical items since you only pay for what you need and when you need it. Moreover, many companies are using the cloud because of its accessibility. Since most employees are now working remotely, like us, like companies have chosen to migrate their data, their applications, and other assets to the cloud for easier access. There are companies who are using cloud for their web hosting applications and for their e-commerce platforms to allow for better scalability, which is, I've mentioned a while ago in my presentation. Thank you, Ivana.
Thank you, Sir Tony. Let's go back to Ms. Rosan. So we have a question here, probably from a business owner, him or herself. So the question goes, we are a lean company of around 50 employees, including our owner and president. Who are the main people in the organization who should drive the leadership besides the president, who already has huge responsibilities? Should HR be involved in driving this?
Thank you for that question. No? If you are the one who asked this question, a lean organization like yours would typically have very few first-line managers. No? Probably you will have a head of finance, a head of sales and marketing, and as you mentioned, maybe an HR manager as well. Now, if by driving leadership you mean who should lead in motivating people and getting them to rally behind the company vision, mission, and objectives, I would say that it should be all of these first-line managers. And that shouldn't rest on the shoulder of the presidents alone. Now, the leadership team is responsible and accountable for driving performance. Now, what could be HR's involvement? HR can facilitate things like employee initiatives. HR can help drive company culture. HR can help drive policies and practices that promote things like work-life balance, fair and legal labor practices, and also in communicating organizational values and, of course, designing delivery mechanisms for all of these things.
Thank you, Ms. Rosan. And now let's go back again to Sir Tony. So another question from a business owner. So it says here, I am a small business owner, and mostly what I know about cloud is that I can save my documents in a secure storage that's managed for me. Does Eastern offer the same cloud service?
Okay. We have different cloud solutions depending on the requirements of the client. Saving documents in the cloud using a document manager system is just one of the many things our platform can do for you. So I would say I'll repeat again what I presented a while ago. Watch out for our software as a service portfolio of solutions, which we will be launching soon. And without preempting anything, our SaaS portfolio will include many business applications that you have become accustomed with at the lower price. So guys, konting hintay na lang, and definitely we will announce it once it is out in the market. Thank you, Ivan.
Thank you, Sir Tony. So guys, I'll watch out for that. Thank you so much, sir. And now let's move on to Ms. Rosan again. So you mentioned earlier that a lot of things about the importance of leadership in business longevity. So the question is, what can you suggest to us is if our leader is the exact opposite of the one you mentioned, as they think of themselves so highly and would just tell us what to do without proper guidance. And if it clicks, all the glory to them. But when it fails the man, all the blame to us.
All right, Ivana, that's a very tricky question, no? And of course, it's a sensitive matter. How would you go and tell your boss, you think so highly of yourself, no? And how do you do that? And this is where now the company process might be of help to you. Also, I would suggest to you, take a look at your company policies and maybe even go and ask HR. If we are having problems with our leader, without necessarily going into the details, you can ask them, what would you suggest that we do? What are the different steps that are available to us as an employee? What recourse do we have? And so that is really what I can suggest to you. So it's going to depend on how your company is structured.
Thank you, Ms.
Okay.
Rosan, for that. And now we have our last question for the both of you. This time I'll let you go ahead, Sir Tony. So this last question goes, I'm glad to hear about the aspects of business longevity that was discussed earlier. However, one of our recurring problems in our business is the turnover of people. This is quite inevitable now since our employees are being offered much more by bigger companies, especially at this time, and we can't seem to compete with it. In your experience, is this something that could affect our business longevity, or in your experience, given your company seems to have withstood the test of time rather, how did you or your management deal with this type of problem?
Oh, okay. So sige, let me start with this one. I'm going to use the code I mentioned in my presentation by Heraclitus, okay? There is nothing permanent except change. So people moving to another company is part of the change that is constantly happening. We've seen that in my working years, ganun siya, okay? And COVID-19 is part of the change we didn't expect, but everybody adopted. Move forward, and now we want businesses to leap forward. So for Eastern, we were able to withstand the test of time. I believe because of Eastern's purpose, which is to bring back the human connection in everything we do. Well as our core value that is evident in every ka-Eastern. We are both high-tech and high-touch. So siguro pag kinausap mo yung mga Eastern dyan, yan, sasabihin nila yan, no? And lastly, I would say is that we have a management team that is very supportive of its employees, especially during these challenging times. So that's it, Ivana. That's my answer. That's my take to that question. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Tony. Go ahead, Ms. Rosan.
Yeah, so we're talking about attrition here, no?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. No, so employee turnover is complex problem, no? And often we tend to see only what we believe is the obvious reason. For example, my competitors are pirating my people. No? However, just like with any other problem, really, the key to dealing with it is to understand yung root cause. No? This is the reason why exit interviews are extremely important. The problem is many organizations do this simply to comply with a corporate requirement, pero hindi naman natin siniseryoso yung results ng exit interviews, and we don't really take concrete steps to do something about the things we learned from here. Now, yes, bigger companies offering salaries may be a cost, but there could be other underlying issues. No? Kunyari, a lack of purpose. Hindi nila nakikita na meron pa itong pupuntahan. Toxic work culture. Bad managers like the one that was described earlier, or a wrong job fit, or ito, hinahanap ng mga young workers natin today, development opportunities. No? So depending on what the problem is, then you've applied the right fix. Is it better employee engagement, better communications? Or is it providing more development opportunities for the people? Is it training your managers to be coaches rather than being slave drivers? Okay. Now, does this affect business longevity? I would say it depends. No? Of course, there's a cost associated with hiring people, so employee turnover can truly be expensive. But the biggest dependency, aside from hiring costs, is the availability of talent. Thankfully, the data in the Philippines shows there's still a very, very good talent base that we have here.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Ms. Rosan. And I think that's all the time that we have for today for our live Q&A segment. That was really, really insightful. And I once again want to thank our speakers for today, Ms. Rosan Holmes and Sir Tony Casas, for sharing your knowledge and providing all of our viewers today with the insights they need to leap forward into the now normal. But before we end, would our experts like to share a few parting words to our audience? Please go ahead, Ms. Rosan.
Well, I think the most important parting words these days is please keep safe and healthy, everyone.
Go ahead, Sir Tony.
First things first, Guru, I'd like to say thank you to Mr. San, for allowing us, being part of this Leap Forward session natin, no? And this is definitely will help businesses, to get some notes, to get some notes and, carry it and apply it for their businesses. Now, for the attendees naman is that thank you for attending this afternoon and for listening to us, kami ni Ms. Rosan. And I hope, you have taken notes as mentioned a while ago, and in getting the right attitude and standards for your business longevity. Okay, and I hope as well that you were able to get a screen cap of the QR code that I mentioned a while ago. Okay, which is definitely we feel that it will help you start your cloud experience. Okay. So with this, we look forward to collaborating with you in the future in your digital transformation so that we can all leap forward and have a fearless tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sir Tony Casas. Thank you again so much, Ms. Rosan Holmes and Sir Tony Casas. And guys, if your questions weren't answered, don't worry. Send them in any way through Eastern Communications. Can reach out to you after the webinar, and also yung QR code na sinabi ni Sir Tony. Take note of that. So today, our major raffle winner will receive a 3,000 pesos giveaway voucher. So again, when you see your name flashed on the screen, take a screenshot and email it to marketing@edpi.com.ph with the subject Leap Forward 2021 Digital Raffle. So our grand raffle winner for today is Felix Almonte from Makati Business Club. Congratulations. You walk away with 3,000 pesos giveaway voucher from Eastern Communications. Congratulations. And thank you once again to Ms. Rosan Holmes and Sir Tony Casas, of course. Thank you to all of our viewers today for taking this time to be a part of Leap Forward. And as a special treat, all of our participants will receive a giveaway voucher from Eastern Communications. Wow. So please answer the post-event survey form that will be sent to you via your email or using the QR code in the chat box to claim your special token. So make sure to look forward to our future sessions as Eastern Communications continues to inspire and uplift business owners across the country by tackling another challenge that businesses face in the now normal. Together, we can take that leap into a strong tomorrow for your company. Thank you again, mga ka-Eastern, for participating in Leap Forward Business Empowerment for the Now Normal. Have a great day, everybody. See you next time.